Good evening and welcome to the daily vlog. Started off well this morning. I left Stony Acres campsite, probably about 9:45, something like that, and then headed to Chirk Castle. That's really good. Thoroughly enjoyed going around Chirk Castle, and I'll pop some images on the screen now. Would highly recommend the tour there, and we were lucky enough to get a guy called Hugh, and he was just entertaining and really informative as well. I suppose the takeaway fact was one of the people that owned Chirk Castle at one point were the initial owners of the East India Company, and that, if you know some of your history, or you might want to look it up, they were a powerhouse, almost the equivalent of I guess your Facebooks of today, you know, mega wealthy companies and individuals that owned it as well. Then I made it back to Lady Margaret campsite, I think it is. Now that's actually on the estate that is the same as Chirk Castle, and I think that's probably why it's called Lady Margaret. One of the original, one of the owners of the estate was Lady Margaret, I think. I'm not sure I've got that right. If I haven't, I'll put it on the screen and correct it. Checked in there probably about 2:30, something like that, I guess, and then hopped on my bike and headed to go and look at the viaduct. Now, I looked at the map and I thought, well, this won't be too bad. Well, basically, just looking at all the rabbits on this site, there's going to be a lot of shifting around under the van tonight, I would have thought. There's so many rabbits. Yeah, so I came out of the site going to the viaduct and turned left. My goodness, was that hilly for me. If I've not mentioned before, I ended up in hospital with a virus, and I've recently recovered from that. So my fitness isn't great. After that extended stay, I felt it a bit, and I'll put a little bit of the video on the screen now. And yeah, here you go.
Blimey. Yes, I am unfit. But a few months ago, I ended up with a very high infection. Spent a couple of weeks in hospital, then A&E, with a higher rate of morbidity, and here we are, recovered but not fit. Onwards and upwards. Right, out walking again. Keep going. I'm liking this downhill business. Just know where it's going on the way back. Keep going.
Oh wow. Well, this is something else, isn't it? How do I go over there? Oh. Anyway, I made it to the viaduct, and that was quite good to see that. And then I realised that water is level. If I can follow the pathway to the canal as close as I can get back to Chirk town, I'll be onto a good thing. That's spooky. I'm not going to lie, I felt a bit silly when I cycled most of the way back, popped up out of the canal at a bridge, probably about 200 yards from the campsite, so I could have actually gone that way, but it did give me a bit of a workout, which is a good thing, so that's good. Cheers, by the way. I can't believe that I went such a hard way to get to the viaduct. I'm sort of glad there it is, there's a sign. It's at the top of this road, can't believe it. I went off down that way that was so hilly, but ultimately I did it, and I'm quite pleased about that. One really nice thing that happened on the way back from the viaduct, I got about halfway and there was a chappie with almost like a barbecue with a wok on it and a kettle, and they were all charred and black and stuff, and he had himself a really nice canal boat, and I stopped and was chatting to him for a little while, and we were getting on really well. A really interesting chap, originally from Australia, and very nicely gave me a beer. So I was there for probably about an hour chatting to this guy, and really interesting to hear how he lives on the canal, and his explorations going around the different canals and stuff. So yeah, really interesting. Anyway, that's about it. So today I left Stony Acres campsite, headed to Chirk Castle, really good, worth doing. Back to the campsite, Lady Margaret, and then off to see the viaduct. And I can't pronounce it for the life of me, but I'll put it on screen now. So this is day 3 of my vlog. Follow along for more tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to, I think I've got another National Trust property in the morning. Then I've got the RAF Museum, starting to head back south again. And I yet haven't booked anything to stay tomorrow, so I need to do that tonight. So time to sign off. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.